Hello, 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 Pretty Girl alumni. Welcome to the lesson, classes in session. So, remember how I said I was going to do a follow-up video on the social hypocrisies that are placed on pretty women, the expectations and the double standards and the contradictions. So, this is the video for today. The first hypocrisy that I want to highlight is people say beauty is everything, and then at the same time, they say don't take pride in your looks. They say, oh, looks on everything. Why are you dressing up? Well, we're just doing this, we're just doing that. And then at the same time, when a pretty girl isn't looking her best, and it's not even like not looking your best, it's like if there's a tiny flaw. Like, I remember this video of the lady who her lace was lifting a little bit at work, and the co-worker couldn't wait to point that out. And it's so ironic to me because pretty girls get scrutinized so much for their looks, but then at the same time, they're told, oh no, looks don't matter. Looks on everything. Oh, you're shallow, you're vain, or whatever, whatever. And it's like the proof is in the pudding. We see it all the time when a celebrity, a pretty celebrity, gains a little bit of weight. Now everyone's on the even if they just gave birth, everyone is on the comment section, dogpiling on them. Like if celebrities have a little bit of cosmetic surgery because they were told they look a certain way and then they try to fix it and then they get dogpiled for doing cosmetics, and you can't win. And this is what I'm more so trying to highlight is you can't win in these situations, so you shouldn't even try to play this game, okay? um there are other social games that you can play where you as a pretty girl can benefit and you won't waste your energy. I will never encourage pretty girls to waste their energy. I value everyone who is, trying to improve themselves and trying to be better. I value your energy. So I want you to, or I want to encourage you to place it in the correct places and to put it towards yourself and put it towards your growth and your nourishment. So how can we say that looks on everything, but we're very overly critical about attractive people's looks? It's like, damn, being attractive isn't enough. I have to be superhuman. I have to be perfect. I have to be abnormal, essentially. And then when someone does meet that standard and someone does meet those requirements, then it's looking for other things. Oh, you were always average. Oh, like you don't have sex appeal. It's like you can't win in these situations, and that's why I'm trying to highlight that. The other social hypocrisy is they tell you to be confident, to love yourself, to appreciate yourself, and then at the same time they try to humble you. They say, "Oh, well, you ain't all that," or they usually compare you to celebrities. I hate that. Like, I actually hate that. It makes me laugh now, but before it used to make me so frustrated because the buffoonery is so obvious. How can you not see it, right? And a lot of pretty women need to be confident. So it's not even like we're taught to be confident, because a lot of us are not. We're kind of shamed into it, whether it's through, having enough of the bullying and the tormenting, and then you just decide to, just isolate, like I made the video previously, hibernate, and then pour energy back into yourself, and then you research with a new type of confidence. And a lot of pretty girls get their confidence through being dogpiled, actually, and as a survival mechanism. It's not just, oh, I'm so arrogant and so full of myself. When I hear a lot of pretty girls' journey, a lot of them, if they didn't come from like toxic families, a lot of them would be bullied and name called and harassed and assaulted, whether it's by women like jumping them, or whether it's men planning to do stuff to them. So a lot of the times women pretty girls especially have to build their confidence along the way, which is ironic because once you get through all of that, then they tell you to stay humble, you're arrogant, you're intimidating, you're unapproachable. Well, if that's the tag that you're going to give pretty girls and that's the tag you're going to put on us, that is how we were socialized and that's how we were conditioned. Like, we're old enough now to pick and be able to decide how can we survive on this world. um, and we have found collectively that you need to be confident and you need to be intimidating and you need to be unapproachable, sorry, in order to protect yourself. And I find it ridiculous that, you can't protect yourself as a pretty girl because everyone wants access to you without having to give anything back or having to prove themselves. The other uh, social hypocrisy is when they say, oh, you're so lucky, or you're so privileged, or this and that. And at the same time, when you come out about your traumas, then it's like, oh, you can't complain. Oh, well, at least you're pretty. I've had this from like different walks of life. Like, I've had this from the older generation, my peers. I've had this from even psychologists and counselors. That's why I had to change my therapist so many times, and I've come to I've come to the realization that a lot of people, even though they're skilled in certain aspects, a lot of people can't relate to being a pretty girl because they aren't a part of that category. And even if they were pretty girls when they were younger, a lot of ageism gets to people. Like, people literally see themselves as different entities once they get older. And a lot of the quote unquote baddies of the older generation, once they start like aging, because of how stigmatized aging is for women especially, then they become completely different people. And that's why you see these older women that are bitter, that are hateful, that are very negative, and very jealous of the attractive people's youth. That's where it comes from. That's where it stimulates from. I believe that's a theory. And also people who are never attractive as well. But it's so funny to me how you're so lucky, and then when you try to express, even if it's not like personal trauma, even if it's social trauma, or it's trying to say, no, pretty privilege actually isn't all that because I had to face this and that, then no one wants to hear it. Then everyone turns a blind eye. You're lying. Perfect example with the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lane situation. Oh, you're lying, Megan. But then at the same time, it was like, oh, he should have shot you in the head. So which one is it? Like, which one actually is it? And then the last one that I want to point out, because this one actually bothers me very much, is that people think that as a pretty girl, men will protect you. And then when the opposite is true, then you're told, oh, it's your fault. You go for the rotten apples. You go for the wrong ones. You keep attracting the wrong type of energy. And this isn't only for women who are in abusive relationships, pretty girls in abusive or tumultuous relationships. This is also for like random events when women get harassed or assaulted in any type of way. Then you have the whole brigade coming saying, oh, well, what were you wearing? Oh, well, why were you out that late? Oh, why were you blackout drunk? This is why you don't get blackout drunk. And it's just so funny to me because, like, pretty girls, especially by the insults, are seen to have this, like, super magical protection from men. And it's like the opposite is actually true. I've experienced more violence from men, whether it's verbal or physical, when I became more attractive and I started taking care of myself and I started growing into my pubescent body and developing feminine features. experienced more aggression from men because they tend to take no as a personal like attack. And it's ridiculous. It's all of these social hypocrisies kind of explain themselves in my opinion, but I just wanted to highlight them, and I wanted to put put it out there because I don't think there are a lot of people talking about the other side of the coin. I think it's usually what we have decided as a society is that pretty people are at the top and other people are at the bottom, and we need to fight these pretty people, or we need to bring them down a little bit so they don't think they're all that. And it's just so sad to me. It's really sad. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know if you agree with any of these points, if you have experienced any of these, because I like listening to other people's stories, and I like listening to other people's experiences and maybe drawing lessons or similarities and just giving out my empathy. Please comment where you're from as well. I'm trying to gauge where my audience is from, and YouTube analytics aren't the most accurate. So let me know when you watch this. If you made it this far, just comment where you're from, just a little quick, your country or your city, and shout out to wherever you're from. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.